Welcome to Super Exceed, Be Super and Exceed, superexceed.com.au, and I'm your host, Peter Uchimi, talking about opposites and opposite polarities today and how the world is made of opposites, which is, what do you say, it's normal. We have night, we have day, we have light, we have dark, black, you have white, you have straight, you've got curved. Anywhere and everywhere you look at and think about, there is an opposite going along. It's a controlling forces, polarity. We talk about the atomic world, right? The world of atoms, for example, that you've got a nucleus, a center, and an electron cloud. This is Rutherford's model of the atom stemming out from 1934, widely accepted idea. You can get an electron microscope, zoom in on the atoms, and you can see them like eggshells like on a carton of eggs. When you turn it upside down, you can see eggshell cartons. These are regions of electrons. You can't actually stop it because you'd be interfering with it and not observing it. It's vibrating at 10 to the 34 cycles per second, which is like 100 million billion times a second around. These are infinitesimally small parts of the building blocks of the world and of the universe. It's to do with polarity as well. We say an electron is negatively charged. Obviously the proton will be positively charged, something that is at the center of the nucleus. Look at the scale of things and the way they are. If you've got a big stadium, for example, you've got little grains of sand inside representing the nucleus, positively charged, and as positive and negative attract, like positive and positive will repel, or negative and negative will repel, or two negatives make a positive, or that's weird. But anyway, protons and neutrons in the center of the nucleus, little grains of sand, and then around the stadium are whizzing at 100 million billion times a second electron cloud. And then when you stop an electron, you can't actually see it. It's infinitesimally small, like so small that you can't weigh it. We say it's an energy packet, it's a wavelet, it's a quantum field, it's a photon, And you look at these little egg carton shells and they all stack up next to each other, like metal will be, like iron or steel or copper or aluminium, zinc, bronze, molybdenum. And the scale of those if you think about it, I've got a ruler here, you've got about 1 millimeter. Well, in that 1 millimeter space, you've got 100 million billion of these atoms all in a row in a 1 millimeter space. So it's all infinitesimally small. It's made of opposites. It's a movement. It's an area of excitement and a polarity. And when we say polarity, we're talking about one being opposite to the other. And the whole world, including ourselves as humans, but as personalities, we go beyond the physical. And we can look at the infinite, which is as far as infinity. And we can go beyond that with our own consciousness. So, we're set and bound by the parameters of physical time and space, but our consciousness, our personalities go beyond that. And I would dare say that it is our consciousness and our personalities that help create and form and expand this infinitesimally small, super large universe. And we've got Andromeda here, and there's another galaxy there, and those galaxies are 100 billion suns. We talk about the collapsing of hydrogen, and as it collapses into space, it forms a Tauri and a flat disk, and each of these flat disks has got its own little flat disk sun solar system along the way. And you've got a mist, and the mist in the cloud is 100 billion suns of another galaxy. And the deep space view from the Hubble telescope is a galaxy of galaxies. So our idea of the physical known universe, the infinitesimally small to the super large, we can go beyond that in terms of identity and understanding of our consciousness. Our consciousness can go beyond that. So, as human beings, with the flow of energy coming up and down our bodies through energy centers, from the top of the head, point between the two eyes, to the throat, to the sternum point, it's your heart center, solar plexus, manifestation area, down to the base chakra, which is your pelvic floor, through to the bottom of your feet and through your hands. You've got energy that sits and flows around the body, and the human body itself is made of polarity. We've got duopolies everywhere. I've got one hand, right hand, but also got the left hand as well. I make a joke, they say something about Italians, even though I'm not Italian, but I've got a bit of a Tuscan studio coming in. They can't talk, you tie their hands behind their back. Two hands, two polarities. You think about the line, the straight line of the human body. We've got, from the top of the head, no polarity, forming polarity. Cerebriums in our brains, we've got left and right cerebriums. These are parts of the human brain. Left brain, right brain, pituitary gland in the middle. You've got your frontal lobe, your temporalis. You've got your hypothalamus at the back, going into an occiput, to the base of the skull, then down the body in terms of its electrical conduit, its signals, its wiring. The brain itself, has got a right and a left brain. We tend to be right-handed mainly, or left-handed. Some can be ambidextrous, but generally we say we're a little bit more polar in one, or he's bipolar, he's a bit crazy. So yeah, because, he's got one right more than left. And, there's been a study by Marilee Zednick. I remember the right brain experience is something that I read a good 30 years ago. I think it still holds true today. Something about the right brain being holistic, spatial, knowing where things are, but the left brain being lateral and, it sees and it knows what the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the colours are, but it can't put them in terms of context as to where it belongs in the whole thing. So you've got a lateral side, holistic, holographic, spatial side. These are your brain, two cerebriums. There's two sides to your brain, and they communicate through the cortex with each other. You've got this invisible energy as well, obviously. You transport with you when you sleep and wake up. But as you're housed in the body and centered, your brain is doing its little job as well. And its little job is, this is where I know, this is what it is, this is how I am, this is how I feel, and they all come together. So you've got polarities with the brain. And people who are, suffer from severe mental diseases, they don't necessarily walk in circles, but they all dreamers, or they're all just like Rain Man, and they're all just very literal about everything, but they don't know where it all belongs. There's one side stronger than the other. So we've got polarity in the world, polarity with the cerebriums. You go down through the body, you think you've got two eyes, two nostrils, your tongue, your larynx, you've got muscles, two. Your chest, two sets of lungs, and your heart with its ventricle and auricle, atriums and septum, two sides, one lub-dubbing the other, right? Going through your body, you've got polarities within your body as well. The spleen and the liver and the spleen. You've got the large intestine, small intestine. You've got your ovaries or your testicles. They're both twos. They're two legs, two arms. Our body is made from polarity, and it's up to us how we seek to engage this polarity, one more than the other. That helps us, physically drive the well-being and the talk and the chit-chat and the laughter and the gregariousness of our bodies. And the whole world and the universe is made of this polarity. So I just wanted to bring our level of attention and understanding to that. I'm not yet cracking jokes or doing caricatures. I think I'll evolve as we go along, because I'll pass through a lot of this knowledge and look at ways of being able to overwhelm an idea better. So at this stage, just bear with me. World of opposites and polarities, right and left brain. You don't want to be walking in circles if you're not balanced. You're always looking for a balance, and the best balance that you've got, esoterically, ethereally, is from the top of your head, because there's no polarity there, right? As soon as it goes into your head, to your brain, it splits into two. In that moment, in that location, in that area of physical time and space. So 9:57 10 minutes of discourse. Hope you bear with me on this one. And forgive me for paying out on the Broncos in the last episode, but it's for your own good. You've got to let go of whatever you've got. If you think you've got attachment to the physical, forget it. You're always going to move. You're always going to form and reform, and we're nomadic in our existence. See you next time.